My name is Jessica Miller Grossman. Birth date 3/22 of 90. AO number 3013639. It is 3:48, and the date is October 6th, 2021. I'm gonna tell you my story. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me at Passages. I went to prison when I was 21 years old. I did 8.5 years. The first time I went to parole, I got my parole. During that 8 years, I worked hard. I took 32 classes. I did everything extra that I could. And I was like a model inmate. I worked hard, but I also grew about myself, and I had confidence, and I looked for the future, and I was thankful that I went to prison and that I got the experience to be okay with myself. I went to prison scared at 21, not knowing anything, and left a woman that was happy and excited for her future. I went to parole, and even the parole board said, well, we're gonna let you go to Passages for the CAP program, and then upon completion we'll see you again and let you out. And he said, he said, good luck, Miss Miller Grossman, and he said, do a good job, because I know you will. I know you're gonna do great. Was his exact words. He even gave me early consideration to see the board 2 months before my completion date. So I leave prison, I'm all excited. I go to Passages, and I have to spend 28 days on second floor, the ASK program. Going to that floor for those 28 days, I was shocked at how it ran. It was crazy. It was like a cult. It's therapeutic community is what they do. And it was like demeaning towards me, like childish. You had to do props, you had to sing fucking little kid songs like School Bus. I'm 32-year-old woman, and you're gonna make me sing Little Miss Riding Hood, Merry-Go-Round, and The Wheels on the Bus. You're gonna make me sing toddler songs. It was humiliating. I'm a grown woman. I have to sing songs. I have to do weird stuff. And if somebody says something to you, like you have responses that you have to do, it's like, thank you for the proper response. Like, that's not real life. That's weird to me. And so I got nervous from the gate. I thought I made the wrong decision of coming to Passages, because I was like shocked. That 28 days was horrible for me. Who wants to go to 7 different classes, like mental health classes, like behavior, 7 self-help classes a day? That's all you do. They made us watch Disney Channel. That was the only TV that we could watch, and we had like half an hour, and it was called our free time, like little kids. I was humiliated. I was like, what the hell happened? Okay, so then I go downstairs after 28 days, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll start fresh. I was downstairs for 2 weeks. Then they moved us all upstairs, the CAP girls. There were 6 of us that were up there, and we were on isolation. And so I spent months up there on isolation with 6 girls, not, seeing anybody, not leaving, not doing anything. And then I think 3 weeks or a month before I I graduate and go to pre-release status, they moved me downstairs. And when I got downstairs from being upstairs and being in prison and being like isolated, not around people, like I was so uncomfortable. All the fucking other inmates that are there, like staff, like it was overwhelming. Okay, so I had 3 weeks to get used to just being downstairs around people. And then I got to go leave this place with a chaperone, my mom, for 2 or 3 times, but they wouldn't let me go to her house because when inmate status, you're not approved to go to residencies. So I had to go to a store, which means I had to be around people. So instead of going to my mom's house and like getting like accustomed and soaking everything in, I literally had to go to Walmart. And when I walked into Walmart, I was terrified. I felt so awkward. Like everybody was looking at me, and like it was horrible. Like I was like socially awkward. I couldn't even like talk. And so I came back. So now I'm in pre-release. Okay, so I got to do that on inmate worker status. Now I'm in pre-release, so now it's a whole different story. So my first day of pre-release, I'm notified that I have to go down to the sheriff's office to change my violent offender therapy. And I said, okay, you know, and knowing that I haven't been on the streets in 10 years by myself, okay, they said, nope, you'll be fine, just walk there, go register, come back. I was like, where is it? They told me to Google map it. So I sign out, I figure out how to Google map it, and I'm walking down 27th Street, and it's like so overwhelming for me. All the cars are going by fast, fucking people are honking at me. I have like dudes stopping by, like stopping, asking if I wanted a ride. It was horrible. And so I get to the sheriff's office on Google Maps, and it's not there. They moved buildings, and Google Maps didn't do it. So then I walk to where it's supposed to be, okay? And I go in there, and I do my thing, and the lady in there is just treating me like horrible. She's like I'm the devil or something. And I was like, what happened? So I leave, and I'm walking back to Passages, and I'm like calming myself down, telling myself I got this, that everybody goes through this. And all of a sudden I fucking panic. I look at my phone. I'm supposed to be back at Passages in 6 minutes. So I call down there. I tell them that I went to the wrong sheriff's office, okay? And the lady doesn't believe me on the phone. She doesn't believe me. She thinks I went and did something that I wasn't supposed to. I went off agenda. And I'm like, no. And I'm shocked that she's saying that to me, that she would think I would do that my first day, okay? So my first experience by myself was horrible. And when I was my year in Cap and Passages, I had a case manager for 1 year the whole time. And then I switched. They switched the day I went to pre-release. They switched me to a brand new case manager that I had no idea who she was. I had no rapport with her. I didn't know who she was. I'm not just gonna go, be an open book to somebody I don't even know after I don't even really trust anyone. What I'm saying is I just got thrown out there one day. Anyway, after that I got a job at a Red Lobster, and I was doing good. I made pretty good tips. I was doing well. I worked at nighttime, and I liked it. I walked to work there and back. I put 2 hours on my time, and I liked it. It got me away from more time out of the center, and I'm into exercise and fitness. So I'd walk there, I'd work, and then I'd walk back, and I loved it. And so I did that for like 2 weeks, and then like the more I started to work, and the more I was walking, the more I got exhausted, and the more tiring I got. And just so you know, the stipulations and Passages are, even if you have your driver's license, you can't drive. And even if you have everything legit, driver's license, insurance, registration, you cannot drive. And that's just a rule for Passages. We have fed and state inmates there, and the feds are allowed to have cars as long as they're legit, but they won't allow us to. We have to every single day walk, ride our bikes, ride the bus, or have somebody pick us up that is approved. And to be approved, you have to have everything in order, all in one person's name in there. So imagine every single employee in Passages. And I think if you look at every single one, there will be not one person who has to every single day find a ride to get to work. Every single day, there and back. I have support here in Billings, but they have their own lives. My sister's got 2 little kids. My mom's got my brother, and she's got mental health issues. So they wanted to take me there and back, but they couldn't. And my mom couldn't afford insurance, and it was just hard for me to get a ride. Okay? So I was walking, and then I got exhausted from doing that in 2 weeks. And so I had to do something different. I literally walked like 27,000 miles a day, because I walked there and back for like 7-8 miles. I worked double shifts waitressing, and so I was literally on my feet all day. And so then I can do it, but I want you to know that nobody, not one girl in Passages, unless they work a block away, does it the way that they're supposed to do it. Nobody does. Everybody always gets picked up or they have a car. So nobody does it, and so I did that. My boyfriend would start giving me rides, or my co-workers, and I'd walk down the street. I would get a ride and I'd go to work, and I was always on time for work. I went straight there and I was always on time back. And I did that for like 3 or 4 weeks, and that whole time they didn't think nothing of it. I didn't get in trouble when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I wasn't doing it their way. And sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, so that went good, and then one day, one of the higher ups and in charge thinks that she sees me at Red Lobster when I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I had switched jobs in between there, and so because she thought she saw me, my whole life went downhill from there. And before I mention anything else, I'll tell you guys that during this time I was filling out court paperwork to see my kids. I hadn't seen them in 2 years. My boyfriend and we started getting really serious, and we started getting serious. Okay, so somebody thinks that they see me, okay, and I'm like shocked, and I tell them, everything, and they don't believe me. I have to literally make them prove that it wasn't me, and it turns out like it wasn't me, and I knew it wasn't. The girl that they thought was me, that she saw, we're both tan skin, we have brown eyes, and we have black hair with buns in. We look really similar, but because of that, and because I had to prove myself or whatever innocent, I got scared of them. I got suspicious. Another thing is that I grew up in prison. I spent a third of my life in there. My whole adult life I was in prison. And so I'm like naive or gullible to a lot of stuff out here. And I started to get paranoid about Passages. These two CAs started like nitpicking at me, like making sure that 5 minutes late I was just being crazy. And they started like writing me up for stuff that I was like, what? So when I was working at Red Lobster, I decided to switch jobs, and it was because I didn't think it was a big deal. I got offered a different job, and I got offered better stuff, better shifts and a better opportunity. And so I switched jobs, and I didn't think it was a big deal to switch jobs at Passages. We're mandated to work 40 hours a week. I was working over that. I had good job reports and all that stuff. And so when I got that job opportunity to switch, I went literally that day that I quit Red Lobster. I had another job, was hired that day. And I didn't leave on bad terms. I did, told my boss about it, 2 weeks before, all that stuff, okay? And so when I tell the person, hey, I need a new sheet, I changed jobs, whatever, can I get the paperwork for direct deposit? She writes me up for a major write-up, and I am like shocked, because I didn't know that it was a big deal to switch jobs. I just thought the big deal was work 40 hours a week and be good at your job, okay? But that's not how it is. I was proactive before I got to pre-release. So 2 or 3 weeks before, I wrote my own resume up. I put it on Indeed, and I applied to jobs that I wanted. And I didn't just, I took time and made the people like see how I was, and I wasn't just eager for any job. I wanted the right job. And so I already had a job, but I guess that I'm not supposed to do that. What I was supposed to do was I was supposed to go to Job Club, which is an hour at 8 o'clock every morning, and learn how to write a resume and show how to find a job and all that stuff.